11 random facts that show that America is rotting and decaying right in front of our eyes. Michael Snyder reports, we're in far more trouble than most people realize. Fentanyl and other drugs ravaging cities, homelessness, poverty, hunger, rapidly growing all around us. Meanwhile, our federal government, our state governments, and our local governments are drowning in debt, and economic conditions are steadily deteriorating. Corruption is rampant, incompetence is seemingly everywhere, and the moral decay of our society is accelerating. Unfortunately, much of the population is completely oblivious to what's going on because they are deeply addicted to the electronic gadgets that they're constantly staring at. The following are 11 random facts that show that America is rotting right in front of our eyes. Number 1, a new study has discovered that smartphones, quote, are making teenagers more aggressive, end quote, and are causing them to hallucinate. Hallucinate? Smartphones are making teenagers more aggressive, detached from reality, and causing them to hallucinate, according to new research. Scientists concluded that the younger a person starts using a phone, the more likely they would be crippled by the whole host of psychological ills. After surveying 10,500 teens between 13 and 17 from both the US and India for the study by Sapien Labs. People do not fully appreciate that hyper-real and hyper-immersive screen experiences can blur reality at key stages of development. Addiction psychologist Dr. Nicholas Gardaras, who was not part of the team who did the study, told the Post. Number 2, according to Bloomberg, our cost of living crisis is driving more working Americans than ever to seek assistance from food banks. Once a month, Kirsten Eshak visits a food pantry in Loudoun County, Virginia, to stretch her family's budget. Eshak's husband works as a big box retailer. She works as a substitute teacher. They have income, but they're with prices up nearly 23% over the past 5 years and still rising. Their earnings do not stretch quite as far enough some months. Food banks across the nation are seeing a similar story. A post-pandemic wave of demand for food driven by working people caught in America's cost of living crunch. Number 3, the U.S. national debt was sitting at around $10 trillion when Barack Obama first entered the White House. Today, it is sitting at $36.2 trillion. Number 4, criminals freely roam the streets, but a pastor in Ohio could face jail time for using his church to house the homeless. The only problem is that while opening up his church, Dad's Place in Bryan, Ohio, to the homeless, he's also opened himself up to the reality of a city code. Pastor Avil has known that this was not permitted, the use, and that he does not have firewalls, he does not have sprinkler systems, said Bryan Mayor Carrie Schlade, the kind of things you need in a resident facility. Number 5, a cryptocurrency called Fartcoin that was created as a joke currently has a market capitalization of $847 million. Number 6, fentanyl absolutely destroying communities all over the country. For example, check out what has been happening in Las Cruces in New Mexico. I'm not going to go into that. You can read that yourself. That's number 6. Number 7, in 2024, corporate bankruptcies in the United States reached the highest level since the 2008 financial crisis. Number 8, we don't hear much about cargo theft, but it reached a staggering $454 million in 2024, and that was a brand new all-time record high. Cargo theft hit a record high in the United States and Canada for the second consecutive year, and the trend is expected to continue as criminal enterprises have become more sophisticated in their methods. Various Cargo's net annual analysis released this week found that cargo theft surged 27% from 2023 to 24, hitting a record of 3,625 reported incidents last year, with an average value of $202,346 per theft. All told, the losses are estimated at more than $454 million. Number 9. According to the New York Times, 15% of the women in our federal prisons are transgender. Number 10. Most of the foods on our grocery store shelves are highly processed, and since highly processed foods are less expensive, many U.S. consumers tend to gravitate to them. Next time you walk down the aisle of your local grocery store, take a closer look at what's actually available on those shelves. A stunning report reveals the majority of food products sold at major U.S. grocery chains are highly processed, with most of them priced significantly cheaper than less processed alternatives. In what may be the most comprehensive analysis of food processing in American grocery stores to date, researchers examined over 50,000 food items sold at Walmart, Target, and Whole Foods to understand just how processed our food supply really is. Using sophisticated machine learning techniques, they developed a database called GroceryDB that scores food based on their degree of processing. 11. Homelessness in the United States is at the highest level ever recorded, and it is increasing at the fastest pace ever recorded. We desperately need change in this country, and you are never too young to be part of that change. Just check out how old some of our founding fathers were in 1776. James Monroe was 18 years old. Aaron Burr was 20 years old. John Marshall was 20 years old. Alexander Hamilton was 21 years old. James Madison was 25 years old. John Jay was 30 years old. Thomas Jefferson was 33 years old. So they were all, as we can see, quite young. If we truly want to make this country great again, we need to rediscover the values and principles that once made this country so great. Our nation is in the condition that it is today because of the choices that we have made. If we want to turn things around, we must start making better choices. Anyone that does not understand this is just being delusional. This is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. This is by Michael Snyder and about the author. Michael Snyder's new book entitled Why is available on paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 8 other books that are available on Amazon, including Chaos, End Times, 70-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work that he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News, and he's always freely and happily allowed others to republish those articles on their own websites. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.